I'm the investor relation consultant appointed by this listed company called Iconic Worldwide Berhad. I mean, for those investors, you may have invested in this company called Sun Bhumi Holding Berhad many years ago. Unfortunately, this company continuously running a losses for the past 15 to 16 years until the day there was a change of the major shareholder between the former founder and the new owner of the company, Dato Tan and his family. They are from this company called Iconic Property Group. They based in the more on the this Pulau Penang as well Bukit Mertajam. Once they took over this company, the first thing they do subsequently, the two executive director of the company, Mr. James Tan and Mr. Jason Chong, they will share with you when they came on board. First, there's a chain of director with an ED. Second, there's a chain of the major shareholder. And more importantly, they bring the new life into the company, start diversify the business. Formerly, it was in the tourism related and the swamp timber and timber related business. It's not making money. They start the first joint venture project with the family owned. The first project in Bukit Mertajam called Iconic Point. Subsequently, Jason Jong will share with you when they came on board, despite only a short span about 6 months to 7 month contribution, it's the first time in the history of the company, 31st March 2020, the company turning around and start make a profit of like 8 million profit after tax. It's a very good achievement. With that kind of achievement, we further capitalize what artists will not only have a sustainable demand, but more rising demand in the long run. Early, about middle of this year, they venture in production of the face mask, and subsequently they make announcement in September. We approved by the EGM a few days ago. They're going to venture in the bigger scale, not only expand the production line for the face mask, they're also going to venture to expand into the production of the bubble growth. So to the give up the diversification into the PE business, as well as they'll showcase with you one interesting video later played by the Mintake to share with you that the project they work together not only alone, but they also work in one very famous company, CapitaLand Malaysia, which the headquarters in Singapore, to jointly promote and sell the product across the board in whole Malaysia, and as well as marketing channel. I think without any further ado, I would like to pass the forum to the James. James will run you through his full flash of presentation slide. James, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm James and have Jason together with me. We are the Executive Director of Iconic Worldwide Berhad. Thank you, Mintake and Randy, for giving us the opportunity to share our background with all of you here. Thank you for your time, and let us begin with our presentation. Can you all share the screen? Okay, thank you. Okay. Iconic is a public listed company in the main market of Bursa, Malaysia. Previously, Iconic is involved in tourism business under the name of Sun Bhumi Holding Berhad. Since we bought a substantial stake in the company and entered into the board in 2018, we went for a restructuring and diversified into property market. Sun Bhumi was subsequently renamed to Iconic Worldwide Berhad. As per previous record, Sun Bhumi was loss-making for 16 years, and we managed to diversify into property development through a 65-35 joint venture with our family-owned property development company. Through the joint venture, together with the new hotel management service business, we managed to turn the group around and record a profit of 8 million for financial year 2020. In recent months, our board has decided to venture into PPE business to tap on the increasing demand and shortage of supply in the worldwide market. As of July 2020, we have started our mass production, and we are going to expand to growth sector as well, and we are expected to start production by next year. We are passionate of our new venture, and this diversification will contribute positively to our group. Iconic Worldwide has a wide range of networks of subsidiaries and of active operations on hotel services, property development, and recently on PPE through Iconic Medicare Sembilan Berhad. This is our mission and vision for your reference, and our core principle is for our company is passion, responsible, integrity, maestro, and excellence. In the past 2 years, me, myself, followed by Dr. Tan, Mr. Liao, Ms. Ong, Ms. Catherine Tan and Jason has entered the board. The board has a mix of old and new directors, and together we are driving the company to a new direction and venture into a manufacturing industry. As mentioned before, Iconic is a tourism and property development company, and we are glad to announce that we are venturing into manufacturing of PPE. We will be producing medical-grade face masks and nitrile examination gloves in our new venture. I would like to pass over to Jason to brief you all on the history of Iconic. I'll pass over to Jason. Thank you. Jason.
Hi, thanks, James. We shall start sharing the screen. Hi, good evening to all of you. Thanks for joining us today in this session. First of all, as a new major shareholder of the company, we need to identify and bring in any new business that can help to turn around the financial performance of the company. We are always look out for any alternative to diversify the company revenue stream, and we also try to mitigate the risk of over-dependence on one single core business alone. As you know, the listed company only focused on tourism business before, but currently, there are three key parts of the business running by the listed company. I will go through one by one with all of you. Okay, that is property development, hotel management services, and personal protective equipment manufacturing, PPE, which inclusive of face mask manufacturing business. As for property development sector, we do provide professional construction management services, as well as project management and advocate services to maximize the efficiency factor of the property development. But we like to share with everyone here, in this slide, actually there are two different companies we embedded in this slide for a very specific reason. First of all, the listed company only have one single property development. It's called the Iconic Point. This is the project within the listed company, Iconic Worldwide Berhad, with our family-owned company, Iconic Property Group. Our Iconic Property Group is much bigger than the listed company in terms of property development portfolio. We had a couple projects like Iconic View, Iconic Skies, Icon City, Iconic Hotel, and Iconic Regency. The reason we show Iconic Property Group here, because we wanted to share with everyone, a listed company is worked together with one of the very big, strong, yet consists of powerful track record property group. It's not like we JV with other company which we are not very sure whether will bring in every revenue to the company or not. The idea to show you some of successful track record, because this is the property group that has been active in the property sector for around 10 years. Iconic Property Group started at 2011. We have these few key projects. Project number 1, 2, and 3, I think that is more for your references. Okay, when come back to Iconic Point, this is the project that the listed company have 65% of market share and the privately owned has only 35%. Iconic Point is a mixed development project worth approximately 127 million in gross development value. This major project, when we first start, more importantly, is for our shareholder benefits. It's bring revenue to the company, it's bring profit to the company. You take a look. Subsequently, James will share with you for this project alone, ever started in September last year. We are talking about less than a year. It brings close to 8 million to the company. It's shown that it works. And let me share with you why we are so excited about Iconic Point from the perspective from the public listed company. The beauty of this property are, despite this is the first Iconic Worldwide Berhad maiden property development, it had recorded a 100% take-up rate since the project was launched back in early September 2019. Iconic Point is located at Simpang 4, Seberang Perai, Penang. It comprises 49 units of modern semi-detached and detached shop offices with private lift with a price tag from 2 million to 2.5 million. There will also be 3 drive-through F&B outlets with anchor tenants such as Starbucks and McDonald's, the first of its kind in Seberang Perai City. This property development is expected to be completed by December 2021, and we are very confident that it will be the next popular landmark in southern part of mainland in Penang. The conclusion is we have achieved the 100% takeout rate for this joint venture development, which the listed company will be able to recognize the revenue and earning from this development on proportion basis within a short period of 2 years from the launch date all the way to the completion of the development, which is December 2021. We are talking about only within 27 months. That is really something we feel we are doing right for the public listed company. Despite this is a related party transaction, I will say that it's work on the common interest together for the mutual benefit for both privately owned Iconic Property Group as well as the listed company Iconic Worldwide Berhad. With the successful from this first joint venture development, I am right assured that the listed company is working with a person who really know the business and can bring additional value to the company. While the other ongoing developments undertaken by Iconic Property Groups are Iconic Regency, the fully furnished service suites, and the new 4-star Iconic Hotel. The development is located in the heart of Sungai Nibong, Penang Island. As for Iconic Regency, we had placed the swimming pool along the top floor. While we also include the sky gym and other facility, the resident will be able to enjoy the magnificent view of Penang Island while utilizing the facility in the future. As for the new hotel, we will be having 300 plus guest rooms, a grand ballroom to fit about 1,800 pax, and 7 other function rooms to cater for all kinds of events. We are glad to share with all of you that this development for both Iconic Regency and the new hotel have received the certification and qualify for Gold Index in GBI Green Building Index. As for completed project, we have Iconic View, the affordable housing scheme in Batu Ferringhi. It sounds crazy, but yes, we had enlightened local folks by building an affordable home scheme in the most exclusive tourism hotspot, which is well known worldwide and surrounded by popular 5-star hotels and white sandy beaches in northern part of Penang Island. Followed by Iconic Skies, the high-rise project in Penang Island. It is a popular luxury condominium development in Relau and earning the Malaysia Landscape Architect Award in 2018. The project location is strategic, which is just a minutes away from Penang Golf Club, Spice Arena Indoor Sports Centre, Penang International Airport, and other well-known amenities. While the third one will be the Icon City and Iconic Hotel in Juru, Penang. The project had become a great landmark, and it is the most prestigious and happening commercial hub in Juru area. While the 4-star rated business class hotel being receiving various awards since the opening from June 2016. The success of this development had increased the awareness and profile of the Iconic brand. Through the years, Iconic Property Group also being awarded for the success of the company and for property development. The listed company currently is offered to provide hotel management services to Iconic Hotel, which is a 4-star rated business class hotel that owned by our family at Seberang Perai, Penang. Despite this is also a related party transaction, it has generated the revenue of 3.6 million recurring income every year to the listed company. It works on the common interest together for the mutual benefit for both parties to turn around the financial performance of the listed company. We are also looking out for any alternative way to expand the hotel management services and to improve the hotel owned by the listed company to generate additional revenue stream. Furthermore, with the outbreak of the COVID-19 since early this year, we grabbed the opportunity by venturing into manufacturing and sales of disposable face masks since July 2020. Initially, we are producing approximately 30 million face masks per annum. This project is undertaken by Iconic Medicare, a fully owned subsidiary of the listed company. We are also glad that the quality of the face masks being recognized by public and pharmacies. Currently, we are supplying the face masks to various pharmacies across Malaysia. On the other hand, we had collaborated with CapitaLand Mall, Malaysia, to distribute iconic face mask vending machine to all CapitaLand shopping mall across Malaysia. We are also the first in Malaysia who introduced selling face masks through vending machine. We won't be stopping at this point, and we had obtained the qualification of ISO 13485, and our face mask is compliant with European standard EN 14683 as medical face mask. Furthermore, we will export our face mask to other countries upon obtaining the clearance for export. Thank you for staying with us. Hopefully, the information here may help you to get a greater picture of the company. I may now pass back to James for the proposal of diversification. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason. Are we going to share the video right now?
Ladies and gentlemen in Queen Samoa, warmest welcome to the grand launching of iconic Medicare face mask vending machine.
I believe that this face mask vending machine is the first of its kind in Malaysia. Proud of you, Iconic.
Iconic Medicare has collaborated with CapitaLand Malaysia to distribute iconic face mask vending machine to 7 of their malls across Malaysia.
Congratulate Iconic Worldwide, Iconic Medicare, and also CapitaLand Malaysia for all the great initiatives. Keep up the good work, and I wish all parties success in their journey to fight COVID-19.
Thank you, Jason, for the introduction. Let me share back my screen on our proposal. As per recent announcement on September and EGM notice on October, our company is seeking shareholders' approval for the diversification of business to include manufacturing and trading of glove and disposable face masks. Our company has obtained the approval as of 10th of November. So we have been actively identifying alternative revenue stream, and the group has decided to venture and expand the PPE segment as we have great demand for our existing face mask business. And we have also received a lot of inquiries from European countries for our natural glove. Due to the recent uprise of COVID-19 cases, the government around the world has made it compulsory to wear a face mask in public area. This has created a shortage of PPE supplies worldwide, and this brings an opportunity for the group to expand the existing face mask production. Furthermore, the glove demand is growing as people are more hygiene concerned, and now glove is not only used in medical industry but also in F&B as well as service industry. Currently, our face mask production is in the rented facilities in Penang, and we have recently acquired a land located in Batu Kawan for the construction of the new manufacturing facility for the expansion of face mask and production of glove. We have commenced the piling as of this week, and the construction is expected to complete by June next year. The manufacturing will start early of October, where we will now roll out of our first batch of glove by 2021 October. The second phase will start concurrently, and we expect to have a full production by 2022. We will install a total of 22 production lines consisting of 12 glove dripping lines and 10 face mask production lines in the new facility over the course of 12 months. For our glove division, in full operation, our plant will be able to produce up to 3.1 billion latex or nitrile gloves per annum. This amounts to around 1% of the world demand of 330 billion demand a year based on year 2020 based on MAGMA statistics. This amount is expected to increase 20% post-COVID as new norms set in worldwide market. We are also expanding our face mask production capacity from 30 million of face masks annually to 222 million annually. Currently, our production is targeting local market, but ultimately we are targeting to export our masks. For Malaysian market, we will be applying for MOH approval for Medical Device Act, whereas for export market, we will be applying for CE certification and FDA approval to export our PPE to US and European market. The total investment cost will be 155 million for this venture. This will include the purchase of land, construction of factory, and installation of machinery. Balance will be utilized for working capital such as purchase of raw material. The investment will be funded through internal generated funds, bank loans, and proceeds from private placement. On the private placement, our company has proposed a 30% placement of up to 97 million shares at the price of 45 cents. So, which we obtained the approval on the AGM on Monday. This price will contribute to around 30% of the total investment of 155 million. This was based on the recent announcement, and then we estimate to collected 47 million, but we collected 43 million from our private placement. This is the breakdown of our proposed private placement cost, and then this is the breakdown of our facilities to be installed in the new factory to support the production line, as you can refer to the slide later. The working capital will be mostly utilized on the purchase of raw material for the production of the glove. Recently, we have also announced that we have purchased a land in Batu Kawan, and this is the recent announcement of our purchase of land as per announced, and we are new venture into manufacturing industry. Land is from PDC, Penang Development Corporation, for the value of 12.5 million, measuring 5.5 acres. The land is located in Batu Kawan, Penang, and is a new township which include industrial park. Batu Kawan is a place being strongly supported by the state government for industrial activities. This is the land that we purchased, and then this is the current progress of the site, as we have started plowing as of this month. Okay, let's move on to the financial performance of the company. This is our past 5 years financial performance for the group. As we can see, there's a drop in revenue in financial year 2019 and financial year 2020, as we did a restructuring to our core tourism business. We closed down loss-making business and focuses more towards property development. In financial year 2020, despite the drop in revenue, we managed to generate a profit of 8 million after tax for the first time in 16 years. This was due to the recognition of profit from property development, as we have launched in December 2019, where we fully sold out the project in 2 days, as mentioned by Jason. The development revenue and profit was captured in the last 2 quarters of financial 2020, and our property development contributed around 66% of the overall revenue, whereas tourism contributed around 30.9% of the revenue. For this financial year, property development will be the core business of the group. The drop in tourism business revenue was due to the restructuring and closing down of our tour groups and bus business services. We are now focusing on hotel management service at this moment of time. Based on the quarterly financial result as shown, we have been positive for the past 5 financial quarters. Even due to MCO on March 18 as announced by the federal government, we still managed to generate a profit for the quarter due to the progress claim in the property development. The current asset ratio of our group is at 13.5 times, which is much better than the industrial standard of 1 to 2 times. And our company has a low bank loan of 3 million, and currently our company is a net cash company with 26 million cash. This cash will be utilized for the new venture, and based on our financial result on 2020, our equity is at 140 million. We are also generating a net increase of cash flow into the company based on financial result, and after we did a restructuring and venture into the property market. This is our breakdown of our cash flow. You can have a look later. As we are issuing another 30% of additional share from our current 323 million, our company issue share will be increased to 420 million. We would like to highlight that the proceeds will be utilized for the new business venture as per the slide before. This venture is expected to contribute positively to the group future financial performance. Based on this profile, the company has a change of substantial shareholding where the previous substantial shareholder was Tan Sri Chai King Kong and Dato Chua Tiong Man. As of now, our family is the substantial shareholder of the company, and the previous owner has disposed of their stakes in the company. Thank you for your time, and this is the end of our introduction, and we shall move back to Mentek. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have come to the time for Q&A, guys. So if you have any question regarding this company, from what you heard just now, you can type in the chat box, in the comment section, and me or Rondi or us, we will pick one question and we will answer it. And if there's a very good question, then we will answer more and more, right? So very interesting company. Rondi, do you have any question for the management?
Sure. Yeah, I have a couple of questions actually, right? Maybe before we move on to the PPE and glove, let's talk about the original and the core business first, which is property development. So what I understand is that on your property development, there is about 128 million of revenue for the next 2 years, right? So I would say that if I'm an investor of Iconic, there is an earnings visibility in the next 2 years. So my question is just, out of this 128 million, what is the profit margin? What is the gross profit margin? And what is the net profit margin? And how much more is going to be realized in 2021 and 2022, full year financial 2021, 2022, and so on?
Thank you, Rondi. Okay. As this project is Iconic Mall has been fully sold out, 127 million will be captured inside our full financial year. So our project is expected to complete by 2021 December, so next year. And now currently we have captured around 20% of the revenue, 20 to 25% of the revenue. So we are expecting another 50%, so it's around 100 million for the financial year up to 2021 December. The gross profit is around 30 to 40%. This is the joint venture project with our own property group. It has acquired the profit selling company. So the gross profit is around the net profit. I'm talking about net profit is around 30 to 40%. And then so we are expecting to get this revenue in the profit in by December 2021. And then there will be another project now the partner as well.
Okay, understand.
Under programming, once we go out, let's say we sell out 120 million, it will be divided into casual hedge, like 10% upon SMP, another 10% upon prowling, and then 15% upon the ground pin and stuff. So it's all to compensate with the casual hedge. So we have to claim this on the casual hedge. So the revenue will be distributed around the full financial year.
Okay. Maybe I just want to share with everybody here, because your financial year end is actually in March, right? In every calendar year. So when you say that most of your revenue is going to be realized in December 2021, that would be for financial year 2022, right? So for financial year 2021 is basically from March 2020 until March 2021.
Yes. So our financial closing is on March. So we are expecting for financial year 2022 March, the revenue will be fully captured up to financial year 2022. So right now, actually, we are really close our next quarter, and then the next one will be under 2021, and then the 2022 will be the full financial quarter will be under 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rondi, maybe you can rephrase what you learned just now, because I believe the audio was not so good. Even I couldn't catch everything. Could you maybe rephrase?
Yeah. So, so basically, my question was, what is the net profit margin and gross profit margin for the Iconic's property development? Because they have an earnings visibility of around 128 million up to December 2021. And James was saying that in terms of net profit margin, it's going to be about 30 to 40%. Yeah.
30 to 40%.
Yes.
Yes. So what we are saying here is that, so 100 million multiplied by 30%. So in the next from now, or rather from April 2020 until December 2021, there is about 30 to 40 million worth of profit that is going to be realized. Am I right, James?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in the next 2 years, right? So that's like 15 million. No, but it doesn't work that way because there is a progressive billing, right?
Yes, we are expected to get our full financial progress billing by 2022 quarter March. Actually, right now we are in 2021 quarter March. Can you hear me? Because I think there's an echo, right?
No, now it's a lot better.
It's a lot better. Okay, so we are expecting to get it by 2022 March quarter, where the full revenue and profit will be seen.
Okay.
2022 March quarter. So that's like.
So now we just basically need to figure out ourselves how much is going to be in March 2021 financial year and how much is going to be in March 2022 financial year.
So we are expecting to get around 40% by March 2021 and another 40% by 2022 March.
But is that with a joint venture or that's a loan?
Yeah, it's a joint venture.
So this GDV is you still need to calculate the percentage, right, based on the GDV?
After the profit, I'm talking about after the 65-35 profit.
So that is a net. Okay, that's great. Okay, so there is many questions regarding glove here. I can see the questions are glove. Are you late in the glove party? Right, vaccine, all these things. So. Yeah, man. I think this is the biggest elephant in the room. So should we maybe address it first, right? Because I think, yes, your company has a lot of. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe just maybe two more questions from my end with regards to all other things, all the other businesses other than PPE and gloves, right? So maybe can I just find out in terms of your, from the Sanbumi, in terms of the legacy tourism and hospitality sector. Can you maybe like elaborate to us a little bit more about what is it doing and are you going to be able to turn this around to a lot more than whatever it is right now? Because I believe this sector is barely profitable now, and if this sector is having any synergy with all your other sectors. So that's my question number one. And yeah, actually maybe that's about it lah from this. James, I think you're muted.
It was under tourism before we took over, under tourism. So we went in for restructuring. Then we closed down all the loss-making business. Basically, we were involved in bus and tourism business and primary tenant desk. And then we closed down on all the loss-making business. And then we entered into property. Iconic Point, I think, is actually our first property development project for Iconic Worldwide Berhad. So we are trying to turn the company around to profit making. Just it has been loss making for 16 years. So we are trying to generate a positive revenue and positive profit to the company. That's why we decided to join venture with our parent company, just Sanbumi under tourism. So Bursa Malaysia doesn't allow us to simply diversify into property development through a purchase of land. So this is our only way of diversifying into property development. So we did a joint venture with our parent company, and then that's where the profit comes in.
Bursa doesn't allow you to diversify by purchase of land?
Yeah, because when we took over, the company value is around 660 million. And then once you cross over 25%, then it's like Bursa is saying, oh, you are lost between. Why you want to diversify into property business? You need to handle well your own business first before you diversify into other business. So we did a joint venture way to go into property development as well.
I see. Okay, okay. And because your family, because previously you were from Iconic Group, right?
Yes, we are from Iconic Group.
Yeah. So that one is having 10 years of experience in property development already and has been quite successful in the Penang area. Am I right? You're muted, James.
James, you're still muted, James.
I think on the bottom, you should be able to find the button.
I think that's the noise area. Is that right now?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
So what is the take-up rate for the Simpan Empat Shop Road? Is fully sold out, right?
Yes, actually we fully sold out the project in 2 days. Actually the price is
in 2 days.
Yes, we launched in 2019 December, and then we sold out in 2 days. The price is now 2.3 million. We have 49 units, plus 3 units, like 2 units, in the family shop lot. So most of our investors is from the previous buyers Icon City. So our Icon City we launched around 2 million. Now the value is now 4 million. So our investor is quite confident on our project. And then we get the anchor tenant to come in, like Starbucks, McDonald's, before we launch the project. So people are quite confident that McDonald's coming in, Starbucks coming in. So it's an anchor tenant for our investor. So it's like a long term. McDonald's is coming in for 30 years. So it's a long term for them as well, for rental revenue.
So the customer that bought, 2 days sold out is because they had good experience and they come back and it's a loyalty customer. So that's actually a very good sign, right?
More than 50% is from previous customer.
More than 50% is from previous customer.
Yeah. Just,
okay. Yep. Randy, do you have any other question regarding the property side or hotel management side?
Not really. I guess I just want to clarify something, right, James? Basically, in terms of your hotel management, this Iconic Worldwide is actually managing Iconic Hotel only, is it? Is there any other plans of managing other hotels in the future?
Yes, actually, we plan to expand our hotel tourism business, but we have to put it on hold because of this COVID thing. So that's why we have to keep on hold the plans because now it's not the right time to expand on hotel business because COVID is affecting a lot of hotel industry in the world. So we keep on hold on this.
And does the COVID kind of like delay anything in terms of your property development?
No, actually we are delivering on schedule based on our progress. Yeah, because the good thing about our project is landed project, landed semi house, the landed block, and then we can speed up on the project based on more manpower. Instead of a high rise, we have to. When we do a high rise, you have to be on a 17-story, or you can do to 18-story. But on a semi project, it's like we can few team going in together, so it can speed up our project as well.
Okay. Because high rise, so it's much faster. So yeah. Jason, feel free to chip in anytime you feel like there is something that you want to say. Yeah.
Definitely, no issue.
Okay. So now,
go ahead, Ming Teh. Let's move on. Let's move on. There's too many questions about gloves and PPE.
Yeah. So okay, the biggest question that is on everybody's head, I think, from the viewer is, they are super excited about Iconic Worldwide going into gloves manufacturing, but recently we have seen so many, new companies like today Cellcon, right? Then AT System yesterday that I posted, right? Then after that, Iconic as well. Notion, so many. And then even the big companies, they are also expanding in a very fast rate, right? People, even before the vaccine, they were worried, would they be oversupply? Is it too late to get in now, right? Even Masing is getting in. But now, even with the vaccine, so do you believe that, this glove venture and mask venture is still going to be as profitable? Or is it already No, what would you say to people that think it's already too late to go in?
Okay, thank you. Okay, actually, this one is for this glove industry, right? Before COVID, the world demand is increasing 10% per annum. Post COVID, we are increasing around 20% per annum. Post COVID, can you hear me, man? Yeah.
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 I think maybe
Yeah.
when you speak, right, your head is I think a bit more chin up. It's much
Yeah,
clearer.
I think my speaker, there's problem here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, when you speak closer to the mic, it's a lot clearer.
Yeah, yeah. So post COVID, we are estimating around 20% increase in the world demand. Based on magma statistics, the demand is around 330 billion for financial year 2020. So right now, Iconic is producing around 1%. We are producing 3.1 billion growth per annum. So we are producing 1% of the world demand. And then Malaysia is supplying 60 to 70% for the world market. So right now, actually, maybe I can ask back to Mentek to do a presentation. Is it okay?
Sure. So
on
the glove industry. So guys, we have prepared a short introduction and short overview on the current situation in regards to the glove industry and its demand, right? So now I would like to invite Katie Teo to share with you, right, what is the global demand of glove versus the production capacity in Malaysia. And guys, one interesting thing is we actually created an Excel for this. Actually, Rondi, not we, I don't take credit for it. At the end, you stay till the end, I'm going to post a link for you to download an Excel to see which company will produce how much glove projected by when. Sounds good? Type in super if you love this. Okay, so Katie, I pass the floor to you.
Sure, thanks, Bangtek. Hi, everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly and see the slides?
Yep, no problem.
Hi, can you hear me?
Sure, we can hear you.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go on, I think. Yeah, no problem.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, hi, everyone. My name is Katie Teo. I'm actually one of the appointed consultants for Iconic Worldwide. So today I will be sharing with you some of the useful glove statistics, particularly on the supply of gloves in Malaysia and also the global demand. So let's look at it. So this is actually the slides provided by MAGMA, who is Malaysian Rubber Glove Manufacturers Association. And this is the projection by them in 2020, which is this year. They are expecting there would be about 330 billion gloves in demand this year. And most importantly, if you look at this, the expected annual growth rate is about 20%. So before the pandemic, the glove industry was growing at about 10% on average. And now it has doubled from 10% to 20% here. So this is something important to take note. And moving into the next slide, on the right-hand slide, the pie chart in red, it is actually the gloves supplied by the first-tier companies, the first-tier glove companies, which include Top Glove, Hatta, Supermax, Kosan, and also Riverstone. So 5 of them actually taken up about 92% of the Malaysian market shares in glove industries. And the remaining 8% is actually taken up by the second-tier glove companies who are Comfort, Care Plus, and etc. So in total, all of them can produce about 211 billion gloves in 2020. However, if we look at the pie chart on the left-hand side, this is the estimated global demand. We have demand of about 330 billion. So when we look at the press release or the research report, we always see there is a shortage of glove. This is what it means. The demand 330 billion is much higher than the supply of glove, 211 billion. And in this pie chart, it shows that Malaysian glove companies has taken up about 64% only for the global demand. And interestingly, what moves into next year, 2021, we have seen a lot of our new companies, they ventured into the glove production, which is the pie chart in yellow in color. So let's assume all of them can meet their target supply for gloves, all of them, including Iconic, will only take up about 8% of the market share in Malaysia. And the top glove, Hatta Supermax, the first tier and the second tier will just take up more than 90% of the Malaysian market share. So in total, all of them together with the new companies, let's say all of them can meet their target supply, they can produce about 280 billion gloves next year. However, when we look at the left-hand side, the pie chart, the global demand for gloves has grew to 396 billion. And again, in this situation, the demand is still much larger than the supply. And just now, what mentioned by James, for Iconic targets to supply 3.1 billions of gloves. If you use this number, 3.1, divided by 396 billion, it shows that Iconic will only be taking up less than 1% of market share for the global demand. And this is the statistic for 2022. Against the supply of gloves shoot up again to 362 billion. However, when we look at the demand, it is still so strong at 475 billion. Even in 2022, we have seen a shortage of gloves. We have seen an issue of a shortage of gloves where the demand is still higher than the supply. And in 2022, Malaysian glove companies are expected to take up about 76% of the global market share. And when we look at the analyst research report or even some top management from the glove companies, they have actually mentioned the shortage of gloves will still persist in the next 2 to 3 years, which means the issue of the glove shortage may only be rectified by 2023. So this is aligned with what we have shown the statistics to all of you. So basically, this is the industry outlook presentation. Thank you. Mengtek, shall I pass back to you?
Sure. I think right now, let Yap Singh do a short summary on what you have said just now. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you very much, Katie. What we like to share with everyone that whenever you see the industry, there are many players come aboard. You get very worried, you get very concerned. But just apply very simple common sense. If this industry don't have the forecast like 2021, 2022, make it sustainable, or even some of the largest rubber group players, Hatta Lega or even Top Group, they forecast this abnormal demand. It's not going to last for a year. It's going to last about 3 to 4 years. So first step, the demand is larger than supply, number one. Step number two, selling price. Will the average selling price were much higher than production cost? I think quite a number of the big players already came out and they give the guidance either to the investor or give to the investor or to the analyst. They mentioned that the average selling price will not able to come back to the pre-COVID-19 because the production cost have been increased a lot. If that is the case, as long as the selling price much higher than the cost, let's say the cost about $3 to US, again the selling price of $10 US, even when you drop to $7 to $8 US, there's still a very fat margin in order to be earned by the old and new player. And the other part of the very simple common sense, if a small company like the Iconic, the first time player, or some of the second tier player only invest a couple of few hundred million, how about the largest top 4 players? They are investing, talking about billion. They earn billion and they invest billion. That billion investment, if they don't do enough homework, the losses they suffer is largest than anyone in the glove industry. Are you saying that all these top 4 players, they don't know what are they doing? They do much better than anyone. Now everyone is compete against the time, against who is the first one can do the groundbreaking, who are the first one who can convert your existing factory to install the production line, start the first line of the production and supply to the buyer. At this moment, the demand is not so much for Malaysia, but it's for the Europe, it's for the US, to the certain extent that every one of them is willing to like sign the letter of intent. I give you a pre-order. Hopefully the first production line will come out. Can you please give to me? At this moment, anyone who buy the glove, you know very well. 2 things happen. First, You have the money, you're not able to buy the glove. You're able to give your order, you cannot fulfill 100% of order. All the big players say, sorry guy, I only can give you 10 to 20% what you order from me. Can you please wait? I need to fairly allocate to as many customers as possible, as many countries as possible, as long as they allow to import my glove into their country to resolve the medical issue. So this is something that a normal demand. When a normal demand, what shall we do? Pay attention. It can be the 10 company, 20 company, 30 company make announcement to the stock exchange. For you as an investor, for me as an investor, I only pay attention. Who are the serious guy who actually spend their money, start the work, build up the factory, secure the approval, start the production line, and start selling product. Rather than some of them have a lot of announcement, whether you go ahead or not. We are not here to make any accusation, else we will invite some defamation lawsuit. The other part of the story is you have to understand this COVID-19 already mutate become COVID-20. Very soon you're going to mutate become 202, COVID 2021. What does it mean? In the past, you only wear the face mask, you only use the glove, you only use the face shield when you go to the clinic, hospital, or you go to the medical related facility. But today, as long as humans see human, the whole thing change. You walk out, you see, whether in the Italy, in the restaurant, in the airline, in the service industry, in the beauty salon, whenever humans see the human, what they need the glove, they need the face mask. It's become a new normal. It's the something that disposable as good as you need to use tissue paper every day. So you're going to have the demand from the medical sector. You also have the demand from the non-medical center. Whereas in our daily life, it become a daily necessity. If that is the case, that forecast have not taken into account those demand for the non-medical sector. If that is the case, the overall outlook is there. Now is who will be the first one able to capture the market share the faster possible. I mean, I hand over back to you as host.
Okay, guys. So I think just now we had a lot of explanation regarding the industry as a whole. Yeah, so we actually did an Excel, right? If you want to download the Excel, you can go ahead. Not we lah. I keep saying, oh my God, we can't post it here for some reason. So guys, if you want to get the Excel, you can just go to Stockbit, right? Stockbit website. And at Stockbit website, you look for Rondi, right? Rondi's profile. You go there and you can download the spreadsheet because Facebook don't let me comment the link here for some reason. So you go to Stockbit website, find Rondi. Okay, Rondi. Everybody know Rondi, right? So this is Rondi. Then you can download, right? I believe there it will be stated how much production for each company. Yeah.
So I mean, as you guys may know, like I'm a very big believer in rubber glove. So like an exercise that I have done since I would say about like June is I have basically compiled all these kind of like newcomers in glove and what are like their statements, what are their announcements, because different glove newcomers have different kind of like statements and they have different intention, you know, like some people are just having an intention to purchase an existing rubber glove player. Some people have intention to create their own manufacturing plant, but they are just looking around for land to buy. Some people are already having a warehouse space and they are just going to straight away putting up and setting up the glove dipping lines and all that, you know. So I basically have compiled, and in that particular Excel sheet there is about, I would say 18. I counted, there are actually 18 newcomers in rubber gloves, and Iconic is one of them. And that is excluding Salcon, which is today, you know. So yeah, it's I will try and share the link with everyone later. So just go to Stockbit and you can download the Excel sheet lah.
Yep. So for your information, guys, whatever we say here, there's no recommendation to buy or sell any share. I mean, the disclaimer come very late, almost towards the end. No recommendation to buy or sell any share. We cannot guarantee that the information that we give will be accurate, even though we have done our due diligence. Okay, so I guess if from the floor you have any question, please shoot them because I have a series of 4 questions, but all about glove. Because now, guys, those listening to this, I want to be very, very clear. This is not a recommendation to buy Iconic share. I myself haven't buy. Whether I will buy or not, I also don't know. But if you look at because our uncle, one of our famous investor in the market, you guys know who, he shared the indicator, right? Based on the planned production, this is the market cap. So we take market cap divided by planned production. That's how you know a company undervalued or not. So recently there is a company, the planned production is about 2.6 billion, but the market cap is 800 million now, right? If you look at Iconic, the planned production is 3 billion, but the market cap only 150 million, right? So if you say undervalued, this one, has room to go lah. I mean, if you want to compare like that lah, right? But I'm not saying that is the right way to compare or what. But I have a few questions for the management, right? Hey guys, really, I'm not like trying to ask you guys all go and rush. I have a few questions from management. When do you foresee the first time or the period where you have your first line of gloves being done, right? When do you foresee that to happen? Maybe James or Jason, whoever want to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Mentek. Actually, our construction is started right now, so we are expecting to complete construction by June. Our machine will install and complete by October next year. So our first batch of glove will be out by October 2021. So for this batch, first phase is 6 double formal lines. We are expecting around 1.6 billion of glove from October onwards. And then we will start for the second phase as well. So ultimately, we are targeting for full production by 2021 March. 3.1 million by 2021 March. So it's around 1 year down from here.
Okay. 2020, right?
March 2022, right?
Yeah, 2022. March 2022. Okay.
So maybe let me just share something to the audience. Actually, the time to market for the glove is also important, right? Because you see now the average selling price very high, 1 year later, will it be higher or where will it be is a different question. So what do you think, James and Jason? Where do you think 1 year later, because vaccine will be out, that time maybe the demand is even higher or lower. Where do you foresee the average selling price of the gloves that you are making? Because maybe the brand matters as well. Maybe the supply demand matters as well. What is your internal projected ASP for your glove per 1,000 glove?
Before the COVID-19 cases, the glove price is around $3 to $4 per box, $40 per carton. So right now the price has been shooting up to $7, $8 for manufacturer and $10 for retail as well. So we are targeting, our projection is based on $6 to $7 per box. $6 to $7. Yeah.
$6 to $7 a box. So that's the target. Okay.
USD. You're talking about USD.
So it's okay. Yeah. So actually, this question, when we look at this question, so if you look at the projected earnings, should be about 800 million. I'm not revenue. Yeah.
Based on you are talking about revenue, right?
Yeah, revenue. Profit, we don't know.
Yeah, based on the current price is now 800 plus
million
per annum for our full production.
Once it's done in March 2022 and provided that we can have the same average selling price.
Yeah, because our announcements, we are talking about 3.1 billion glove, but this is based on the minimum scenario. We can up to 3.5 billion glove as well. We can produce up to 3.5. Yeah, this is the minimum scenario. We are producing 3.1 billion. So there's some. Yeah.
So sorry, I mean, like if you feel like there's anything, guys, let me know, because I'm like shooting the question, keep shooting. So yeah, because one of the worry that many people will have, right, is Iconic never ventured into glove before, and you're not doing a JV with an existing glove manufacturer. You're starting from scratch, right? Why do you feel confident that you will be able to build it successfully, and then after that, the quality will be good. At the same time, you can, be able to sell it. There's a proper distribution, and the cost, will be maintained, right? Why do you think, what makes you feel confident about that?
Okay, thank you. So before we venture into this growth industry, before we decided to venture into this, we did some market research. We even talked to few existing manufacturers as well. We was planning to take over some companies as well, but then we find out that the existing companies, the production is the technology is quite outdated. Because now in the market, because we compare, we either take over someone or we do a new one ourselves. So end of the day, we are going for doing ourselves because that's based on the technology we can get from now. Previously, we can produce up to 35,000 per hour per machine, 35,000 growth per machine per hour. But based on if we took over someone else's company, they are producing 10,000, 12,000, and they are process very labor intensive. So right now we are going for more not fully automatic, it's like more automatic machine and more high-tech machine. So it's like the quality will be more consistent. Because now actually Malaysia is the pioneer for glove industry. Malaysia is the pioneer maker for glove industry. We are supplying 70 to 80% of the worldwide demand. So that's why we decided to go for this, because this industry is quite mature in Malaysia. We have a lot of consultants, we have machine makers in Malaysia. All the consultants are able to help us as well. So we are quite confident we can handle it from the help from a consultant. There's a minimum guarantee from the machine maker, and then we also hire a plant manager. He has a 30 years experience in this industry. He will be operating the plant as well. We are just overseeing the management, but the operation level will be handled by existing experienced workforce. So we are actually expanding our team as well. We are recruiting as well. Instead of taking over someone's company, like what other people prefer to do, because it's faster as well. But then in the long term, it's not so feasible, because right now the cost is very important in business. We have to control all the costs and the manpower. Now we are having problem to get a foreign worker to come in as well from outside because due to COVID thing. So it's quite challenging on labor part. So we decided to go for a high-tech machine, reduce on manpower, improve quality, increase the output per hour. This is our main intention. So supported by the experienced staff, because worker we can hire, it's on contract basis we can hire, and because it's a mature industry. So this are not in US. No people know how to do glove, but this industry has been in Malaysia for 30 years, so we can get the workforce from here. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yep. I have a follow-up question, which will be very interesting. It's asking 3 things, but if it's sensitive, you cannot share, then you can just don't share, right? But anybody else, Jason or Rondi, want to chip into this conversation before I move on to the next question?
I'm actually trying to ask question also, but yeah, you go ahead first, Bing Tek.
Oh, my next question is superpower, man. Okay. But it's not not attacking question. So, if you don't mind, maybe you can share with us what kind of consultant or what company you engage to get the machinery or the raw material, or the manager, where was he from, right? I mean, like, these are clue for us to learn more about the company, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so maybe let me just follow up on Ming Tek's question also, James, before you answer, because my question is somewhat linked to that. If you, I mean, as we all know, these days the butadiene rubber in terms of raw material is very difficult to find, right? So I'm just wondering whether you have, because your production is quite far in advance, whether you have already sourced and whether you have already locked the raw material on that front. And going back to, in terms of your the staff that you have hired for you to do this new venture, especially those that has experience in glove making, right? Are they somewhat binded to you, or can because there are so many newcomers, right? Can one of these newcomers just come in and say, hey, I'm gonna pay you higher, and you come to my side? So yeah, so
Bintik, you put me out to summarize the answer before I get the James to answer about the raw material and the machine supplier. Can you put on the screen now?
Yeah, on the screen. Yes, you're live.
Okay. When Iconic venture into this business, rubber glove or face mask, they are not starting some business from the scratch, from nowhere. Mintek and Rondi will share with you the full presentation slide, about 90 pages. The same information we already extract on the EGM circular, and EGM already approved proposed diversification into the rubber glove and the face mask business. In the circular, he mentioned a few things very important. The first one, for the rubber glove industry, they've been hired this manager, Ashok. There's a long list of background. To cut it short, he worked in Hatta Lega before. He in this line for the 30 years. He know what he's doing. Second, this business is not built on a key man risk. This guy is running the operation. But during the setting out the production machine, thank God that this rubber glove business is a very long 34-year industry, very mature. The machine supplier, subsequently Jim will share with you, they not only build the machine, fabricate the machine, build out the whole production line, they also provide the training to the staff and the worker who help to produce the glove. And we make a commercial decision. If you start it with the maximum automation, minimum foreign labor employed. With this, at the end of the day, even though the operation manager one day leave, always remember, Citibank can survive. It's not because every year you change the CEO. Citibank can survive more than 100 years old because the system. The same thing for this rubber glove industry. When they set out with the automation, with the system, with the SOP, with the compliance, everything will go on track. This is not something start from scratch, start from nowhere. For the face mask, this is the business that already started, the first line in the rental factory. They're going to add in 5+5, 10 production line. They also have this production manager, Mr. Tan. The whole detail of this Mr. Tan working in the operation, also in the circular, the same thing also in the so-called the presentation slide. The company also engaged the Nexus and one of the industry consultants who not only provide the guidance in the operation, in terms of the implementation and every single aspect of face mask. Unless you tell me they are going into the pharmaceutical vaccine, and that is totally new area. And this is something that Malaysia never have. Do remember, rubber glove in the industry, if you learn from like what the top glove say, about 10, 20 years ago, we have 200-300 players in the town. Today, we may have 30-40 players. But this industry already grew and become mature. Therefore, the risk for them to venture in this line is not like something to start from nowhere. And Mintek, you touched about the idea about the vaccine. If anybody who pay a lot of attention on the pharmaceutical world, if any of you really learn about medical and you track the development in the whole world, when we talk about the vaccine in Malaysia, you study the latest statement by the Kyrie, the minister. Our country, we only afford, and we only have money to vaccine how many people? 3 to 4%, the maximum 5%. It's too expensive to do that. So the vaccine is not easily accessible for all the general public. The same thing applies for all other the world. Two things. First, supply constraint. The vaccine cannot come out too fast. Second, demand is 7 billion population in the whole world. We can't afford to do it for every single human on the earth. Therefore, you will see the imbalancing on this anomaly. We go for that. The generalization for Mintek is definitely accurate. Vaccine come out, glove cannot use. But the generalization also have a loophole. The loophole is the cost of the medication is too expensive. Therefore, the glove, I not say that will be diminishing demand, it will be just like oversupply may create distortion in the price. But always bear in mind, the demand is not come from one single segment. The demand will come from multiple segments because the health consciousness, the hygiene requirement, like you and me, the moment you step in any beauty salon or any barber shop who want to touch you, want to cut your hair, want to serve you everything, you say, hey, brother, can you wear gloves and wear the face mask? I'm very scared about you, no. So all these things have been changed the human behavior. Hidden demand have not actually surfaced yet at this moment because the glove and the mask, the first priority is to go to hospital, not to the outside at this moment. Okay, James, I hand back to pass back to you about the raw material supplier as well the machine supplier. James, you need to unmute your mic.
Good, thank you, Yap Sing. Okay, thank you, Yap Sing. Okay, right now our machine maker is based in KL. It's not proper for me to disclose the name of the machine maker as well, but he's been in the industry for 20 to 30 years, and he's actually he also supplied quite major top 4 all the glove industry in Malaysia as well. And then for our production consultant, he's basically working on helping us to set up on the plant. So we are actually working on a contract basis. It's like they are helping us for 2 years down the road until we set up the production. Then they will guide around technology transfer as well. The machine maker will provide a guarantee on the technical side. We are providing a guarantee based on the quotation they give us. We have to settle all on the technical side, on training to our staff, the engineering, and then of course our side have to hire our own engineer, our own plant manager, but their side will support us at the back end, and then they will provide training as well. The most important is training because once everyone is okay, then the production will run. Okay, for you are saying that say someone is going to offer a higher price to take over someone else like that. It's like okay, actually we are using a contract basis with our plant manager, and then if let's say that Yap Sing saying this is a mature industry, I can find a lot of people. It's not only one people can work on this thing. It's like more than in this market. There's a lot of people that know about glove industry as well. So we are not quite concerned on this. Okay, for the raw materials, right? Yeah, we did spoken to few supplier, but then our production is on October, 1 year down the road from now. And then we believe that there will be more and more supplier coming up because that's the demand, that's the supply. Like for our face mask as well. When we started to do face mask, the price for the melt-blown, because the center layer of the mask is called melt-blown, the one that's filter the particle and bacteria. The only supplier was in China. And then the price shot up from 30,000 RMB to 600,000 RMB inside 1 month. But right now, it came back to 30,000+. It came back to normal. So we believe this is a short-term problem. It's like because that's a demand, that's a supply. Even I believe some glove maker they are doing their own product. They are trying to do their own production for the raw material as well. Yeah, that's it. So it's a short-term problem. So we are not so concerned because we are 1 year down the road. It's not we are producing right now. Right now is we are facing shortage of supply, but we are doing it 1 year. So Petronas is even doing the raw material right now. So when we started, I think the new supplier were coming in as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So back to the question. So what kind of margin are you expecting from your business, this glove manufacturing business, down the road in October or March 2022? What kind of margin? Like right now, of course, because you're ramping up the operation nowadays, the margin may not be the same. But if you look at the top 4, their margin is already 30-40%. I think it's probably gonna increase because this month the ASP, from what I read, went up 30%. Like I can't believe it, right? So, what kind of margin do you expect to make?
We are expecting to make around 30 to 40%, like what you said just now. And then based on 30 to 40%, our ROI is half years.
You invest 180 million, right?
150.
150. So that's like less than a year.
Yeah, that's a year. So right now, because before the pandemic, I mean the post-pandemic, the price has been shooting up from 2 to 300%, but then the raw material doesn't shoot up as high as the price of the curve. So we are more conservative. We are talking about 30 to 40%.
Net margin or gross margin? Net margin.
That's why all the top 4 companies they are announcing top profit, super profit because of the abnormal price.
Maybe I'll ask the next question. So this one is from my Facebook group. So there's actually 2 questions, right? Number 1 is how and when are you going to secure the FDA approval from US? FDA, CE, and medical authority approval. And the second question is with regards to your planned 150 million of total cost to set up the entire thing. So we know from today, or was it a few days ago, the announcement from your private placement, which congratulations on that. That has kind of like filled up 50 million. So in the next 100 million, maybe can you share with us how do you plan to do that?
Hi. Thank you. Thank you, Bandy. Thank you, Bandy. Okay, there's a lot of concern on CE and FDA approval from our side. So right now we started for the approval. Getting just for CE approval, you need some time, and FDA approval as well. So right now, before you get the CE approval, you need to get the ISO 13485 approval. For our existing face mask brand, we actually have obtained our ISO approval, and then it's the same process because it's classified as a medical device. It's under medical device. So once you need to export to US, you need to export to European countries, you need to get CE and FDA. So right now, actually, we are in the progress of doing the paperwork for CE and FDA approval. We are targeting to get the approval before the production start because we couldn't afford the approval after the production start. So we are targeting before the production starts. So 1 year down the road, we are going to get the approval, then we only start production. And then for just now you're asking 150 million cost. Right now, we as per recent announcement, we got around 50 million from the market to fund this project. So that's a shortage of 100 million. From our property development, actually when we came in this company in 2018, the net cash is around 3 to 4 million we can use. 3 to 4 million. But then we managed to turn the cash the cash flow to 26 million as I present just now. But based on our property development profit coming in, we are expecting 50 to 60 million cash in our hand. So it's through internally generated fund. We are going to fund 50 million from our internally generated fund, and the balance is through bank loan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no chance for any of us here to subscribe to your next private placement.
Are you doing another round of private placement? No.
Okay. Actually, we can think about it. It's better than to take a loan, right?
All right. So yeah, how about the mask? Right. I'm aware that you are also venturing into mask manufacturing. Maybe I didn't really capture the entire presentation. The mask, right? I read somewhere it's quite sizable amount as well. So how much is the volume that's being produced? How much is it currently being produced? When will it, being ramped up? And how much revenue and profit margin are you looking at from the mask segment? Because many people that manufacture masks is also very profitable.
I pass over to Jason to Okay. For the mask part, right? Actually, currently our rental facilities is producing 30+ billion pieces per annum. Around work out around 2 to 3 million per month. 2 to 3 million pieces per month. Currently, we are supplying only local market, but then
this one is self-manufactured.
Excuse me.
This is self-manufactured through the rental factory, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Revenue a month. Okay.
No, it's not revenue. It's pieces of mask. Pieces of mask. 2 to 3 million pieces of mask. It's not revenue. Yeah. 2 to 3 million pieces of mask.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are targeting to expand to the new. We are going to expand into a new factory when we complete the factory on October next year. We will start with 5 production lines first, based on because we have to conservative approach because we don't know what will happen down next year down the road. 2 years down the road. So we are going to target for 5 machines, and ultimately we are targeting, if let's say everything is okay, then we target for 10 machines. We are producing around 300 million masks per annum. And then that time we have to export our mask to international market because the local market won't be able to take up all this mask. Yeah. So we also applying for the CE and FDA approval as well for our mask. Yeah.
Okay.
James. For your mask, right? So it's 30 million annual production right now from the rented property. And in terms of the vending machine, that one you guys buy, and you guys are not producing that, right? You're just buying it offhand and all that.
Actually, for vending machine, right, it's more on marketing purpose.
Okay.
We want to create a brand awareness for our customer. When we go out, they see, Iconic, they are producing masks. It's like an advertisement for Iconic, and then we can also advertise our mask inside. It's not it can generate profit to the company. Is 2 days we have to go and refill every 2 days because it's all our masks is taken out because actually we are producing more fashion masks. And if you can refer to our website, you can see we are producing actually quite a lot of fashion because right now we are targeting more high end and comfortable product compared to the China product. It's more plain blue, and then we are doing more on fashion. Is that you are creating something trend setting. Is that even we have a Christmas edition, we have a Chinese New Year edition, we have is that you are creating because now everyone has to wear. Why don't we make it enjoyable to wear it instead of I have wear it for the sake of wearing, don't get someone or something like that. We want to make our purchaser to be comfortable with our mask because even our mask, we have our own branding on top of it. We want to create a return customer. We want to create the best quality in the market. Is our intention. Is that best quality, best comfortability. We are keep improving on our mask as well. Yeah. So on the vending machine part, it's more on marketing. Is that we want to because we are new in the market. We are only months old in the market. Yeah.
And this 30 million, I mean, so far all your masks are is easily sold out, I believe.
Yes, the pickup is great because we supply to pharmacies around Malaysia. So you can get it from Caring Pharmacy, Josna Pharmacies, quite a few pharmacies in Malaysia. So our take-up rate is that we fully sold out most of our masks for the month.
Okay. Can I just link this to a question on my page as well with regards to the OEM and OEM model? Because, I mean, for your mask, you're doing kind of like your own branding, right? But I believe in terms for your glove, it's going to be an OEM model. Do you already have like an existing client which you are locking your sales in already?
Yes, actually we receive a lot of orders and inquiries, some even bigger than our production plan. Some orders are 10 million boxes per month, 20 million boxes per month. So we couldn't took up. So we already secured a few orders, but based on our current capacity for our next year production. We really did secure some.
Jim, I need you to explain to them for some of the rubber glove, whether it's the 2 different types. You will work with the OEM supplier in order to secure the CE approval, FDA approval, or WASO approval prior to the actual production plan. We're going to take place by 4th quarter of next year. All this will be very important that you will do a double testing on the actual product come out on your own factory. That will clear the doubt that what have not been explained in the EGM circular.
Okay, thank you, Yap-Sing, for reminding me. Okay, before we apply for CE and FDA approval, we have to send our glove and mask for testing. So how do we do it? If let's say we don't have any production plan right now for glove, we do have for mask, but how do we do it when we don't have plan for glove? So actually right now we are working with a local manufacturer to OEM the product based on our spec we want, the spec ordered by our customer, and then once we start our production, we don't have to. We can straight away go for our application for CE FEA once we got our product testing done based on the requirement required on the EN and CE standard. And then when we start production, we don't have to wait for 3 months to start production, and we only send the sample to test. It will take around 2 to 3 months. So we are trying to shortcut on this. So we are working with a local manufacturer for OEM product. Then we can send our product from there. And then when the actual production start to play safe on our side, we also will send the glove for testing as well to make sure that what we produce is what we said, what we advertise, what we said.
Okay, I will try to complement what James tried to share with everyone. If every one of you ever wear the sports shoe, there's one sports shoe very famous called Nike. It's not because the slogan say just do it. It's because Nike designed the sports shoe by stated the spec very accurately, very specific. Do they manufacture any sports shoe? They never. They outsource the sports shoe to the third world country like China, like the Vietnam. But the sports shoe is already produced by the third-party player, and they can send to the Olympic in the Tokyo to be approved. They can send to any tournament body to be approved. The same model is applied by the Iconic at this moment. By leverage on the OEM, they produce the rubber glove in according to spec required by the customer of the Iconic. That one you secure the CE approval, FDA approval, with the demand much stronger than supply at this moment. When their own production plant at the Batu Kawan Pending produce the first pair of their own actual glove, they just need to do a double testing to affirm, to ascertain the quality is consistent as the original spec they get OEM supplier to do it. In business world, it's not about what to do, it's how you do it, how you speed out the process to achieve and to meet the demand. All the letter of intent will become an actual firm out purchase order, whether contract or spot order when the first productions are running. There's no time lag. So I hope that clarifies the matter of approval process.
Okay. Thank you, Yap Seng, for the clarification. It seems like many people are huge fan of your face mask, because you see, I don't know, like really a lot of people, right? Hey, but
you can buy one on the website.
He said he hate Iconic mask because after wear it, cannot wear other.
Thank you. Yeah. Actually, we received a lot of good feedback from our customers,
really?
So we are quite proud of it as well.
I need to try. Is it available everywhere?
You can buy it from our website as well.
Okay, I'll try one. Okay, so the production will be from existing one. Let's say the volume is 1. You are thinking to expand to 5, then maybe plus 5 some more. Is it?
Currently we have two in our factory. Two.
Then 5. Another 5. Then another 5.
Total is 10. Maximum is 10.
All combined will be 10. And when do you expect this to happen?
By October, we can start at 5. Next year, October. Next year,
October. Okay, because it's in the same factory now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, last question. Okay, if any one of you have anything to add, you can. But this will be the last question from me before we wrap up. So, do you have any, contract being signed or secured order for your glove already? I know it's very early, but is there any, after you ask what you want, do you sign contract with them?
Actually, we are quite fortunate on this because right now all the top 4, top 5 manufacturers, they have over demand for the glove. Mm-hmm. So actually, we came across a lot of buyers coming in because they cannot get it from Tokyo, from Hatagega. Everyone has to wait for 1 year plus 2 years, 2 years down the road. So actually, we did secure a few orders on our hand as well. Because there's a lot of demand coming in from international level worldwide. So we can capture on this. We are quite fortunate on this as well.
Do you mind to share what's the volume of being captured?
It's not it's not appropriate to share on right now actually.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So yeah. So I think that sums up the interview for today. I learned a lot about Iconic today. All the questions I already clarified, and I'm very happy and very honored to have James and Jason and Yap Seng Rondi to be here with me, and also Katie Teo. So, guys, do you like what you learned today? Do you like this interview and learning session? Type in love if you enjoyed what you learned today, and you get to know Iconic Worldwide much more, and you're more familiar with what they are doing. Yes, they are doing all this, tourism, all these things, but now you can see actually even with timeline, with the volume, everything is much clearer now, don't you think? Right?
Yeah.
So I myself,
yeah, I would like to add. Let's say our first production is already taken out lah just now.
I mean, first production is already taken out.
So so we are quite confident on this.
Okay, and the price is also all signed. All okay.
Yeah, we are in the midst of negotiating the price of it's all because there's an overwhelming demand for in this industry.
Yeah. Okay.
If you don't have further question, I'll do the closing as a conclusion for today's event.
Sure. You do a summary, then at the end, I have one small thing to share, maybe 1 to 2 minutes only. Okay.
Understand. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining today's Iconic sharing section. I think you've been learning a lot about today. More important is this. For you as an investor, James, I think your background sound from you, James. You need to make your background sound. Somebody got background sound. Okay, more important for you from today is like this. The company already fully sold the Iconic Point project. This project will have the revenue, say about 127 million after they recognize for the first 6 months, and they can continue to give them revenue and profit until December 2021. You are talking about 1 year plus to go. At this moment, what are they adopting is a very prudent yet ambitious plan. They already have 1 production line for face mask under a rented factory in the Bukit Berhad. When they move to the new factory, which they spend 155 million, they will start with the first 5 production line, add on another 5 production line. Similarly, for the rubber glove, despite they are the new kid on the block, they will start with the 6th production line. Should the demand will be overwhelming, they will add on another 6 production line. What does it mean in the commercial world? When you go ahead, you can attack. When you 1 step backward, you can defend yourself by not only committed yourself. If you're not very sure about the concern Mintek around it may have, what happens if the demand not that strong? What happens if every selling price is not that great? At least you know how to defend yourself. Similarly, anybody want to involve the capex, it's not just throw the money on the drain. When you want to spend about 155 million, they are adopting of $1 equity, $1 debt. Out of 150 million, about 50% is from the bank loan, which they need for the raw material, working capital, and so on. The other 50%, where is derived from? First, 30% new share. They already have an oversubscription more than 100%. That can help them to raise about 45 million. In the bank account, currently, they have about 28 million. 30% from the private placement of 30% new share, plus 20% from existing cash in the bank account. So in a business that you only use $1 debt and $1 of equity, 50-50. Again, you try to put yourself in a very conservative yet very ambitious program to run this project. And this is a project that can give you a very quick turnaround as by the industry estimate. As long as you're able to ramp out more than 3 billion pieces of glove per year, multiple like lower range of average selling price, you're going to generate a turnover, say about 700 to 800 million, even more than that, depend on the selling price. With the average profit margin you can generate, you can learn from all other big glove manufacturers. This payback period, it could be much stronger and much faster than the property development. what the more important the Trump company try to do, a very good diversification is to diversify in the basic need of the human, the need for the medical world, the need for the human. You need to live in the house, you need to live in the commercial property to run your business. All in all, it's not about what business are you in. It's more on how fast, how good, how dynamic, iconic the new team bring the company to the next level. I hope that give a very good conclusion what the company want to share with everyone. You can have the presentation from Rondi and Mintek. Mintek, hand over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Yap Singh, for the conclusion. So we would like to conclude this session. Now, if you enjoyed this session, here are 3 things you need to do. First of all, let me share with you, this session is now called the Bursa Secrets Show. We will be having a Facebook Live every Monday and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Right? So here are 3 things you can do. The first thing is you can go to t.me/savvy if you like to get the slides for today's presentation. If you want to look at the numbers, do some calculation, you go to t.me/savvy. This is our Telegram group, right? You can go there and you can download the slides from there. Second thing is if you like to get the Excel file on the planned capacity for all the glove manufacturer, you can go ahead to Stockbit website and find Rondi, right? Or you type in, Rondi or Iconic, you will be able to find Rondi Yunanda's name there. You can go ahead and download the Excel there, all right? The third thing you need to do is go and like and follow my page so that in the future, when we go live, you get notified, all right? Thank you everyone for staying all the way to the end. We had a good session. I hope you love this session as well. Tag your friend in this video if you think this will benefit them. Thank you everyone. Thank you James. Thank you Rondi. Thank you Jason, Yap Singh, Katie Teo. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.